There's an anime that won 6 awards this year, and most of us will have never heard of it. Blue Eye Samurai sliced through the competition. Everyone was talking about it. Forbes, Vox, Times, Reddit, Twitter. You know who wasn't talking about it? Mal. Despite being Hideo Kojima's favorite anime last year, Mal decided the show wasn't worthy and banished it from the site. And so the good weebs who looked to Mal for guidance that cruel fall didn't hear a peep about the show. But Zorix, it's not an anime, it's a cartoon. Mal is for anime. Look, it's animated, it's about samurais, it's anime to me. And Hideo Kojima, apparently. More importantly, it's good. The story is beautiful. The visuals are tantalizing. It hit heights few shows ever have. And it did it by completely flipping the script most anime rely on these days. We'll get to that. What's the show about? Why is it so cool? Let me download you real quick. 8.7 on IMDb, 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's got the 3 Ps that make a show great. Plot, progression, prostitutes. So many prostitutes. Set in glorious 17th century Japan, we follow a cross-dressing twink on her blood-stained quest for vengeance. She's as badass as she is illegal, but not for the crime you think. Her crime is something far worse. She's half white. This show isn't for the faint-hearted. There's a ton of racism, violence, and I'm pretty sure I saw a dick at some point. But at the same time, it's also idyllic and wistful, set during the Edo period. A time where people lived in harmony with nature. A time before the stultifying grasp of modern technology. A time where houses were super flammable. Oh no, the prostitutes! The main theme of the show is finding your own place in the world, your purpose. It's an extremely popular topic these days, and lots of anime are talking about it. You got shows like Haikyuu, Blue Lock, and Black Clover, teaching us that the meaning of life is finding something you're passionate about and grinding so hard you eventually win. Blue Eye Samurai has something a little different to say. We begin in the past, where we follow our main character Mizu as she struggles to find her place in the world. But as a half-breed born in feudal Japan, there is no place for her. Told you the houses were flammable. After being ridiculed, bullied, and had her f***ing house burnt down, Mizu quickly learned that if she wanted her own square on the board of life, she'd have to carve it out herself. Mizu dedicates her life to revenge on the person who brought her into the world to suffer. Her father. Meanwhile, on the other side of Japan, we meet Akemi. That's Princess Akemi to you, peasant. Unlike Mizu, Akemi's purpose was set in stone the day she was born. You know, being a princess and all. Only she didn't want to marry some fat rich guy and live out her days as a walking baby factory. So she's all like, I'm gonna make my own destiny. The two girls have a lot in common, despite one being bathed in luxury while the other showers with pee-pee water. They're both stubborn, have strong personalities, and are determined to walk their own paths in life. And that's their biggest problem.
You serious?
Normally, having a one-track mind in anime is a good thing. Not here. Mizu becomes obsessed with her ploy for vengeance, and it consumes her. While Akemi simps so hard for a dude, she runs away from home and becomes a hooker to try and win him back. In other anime, the angrier you get, the more powerful you become. In this one, it's more like the harder you tilt, the faster you lose. And goddamn, these two lose a lot. The longer we watch, the more obsessed the girls become with getting their way. And that eventually blinds them to the giant cliff they're about to walk off. A few episodes in, the girls, I'm gonna stick to talking about Mizu for this part. A few episodes in, Mizu learns that her dad lives in this impregnable fortress. Every floor has traps on it. Spikes, zombies, druggy monkeys. It's designed to keep people out. And anyone dumb enough to attack it dies a miserable death. So what does Mizu do? She attacks it, head on. Without a plan. She stumbles her way through, taking damage on every floor, but eventually makes it to the top. There she is, standing in front of her maybe daddy. Wounds infected from all the piss water she had to swim through to get here. Who am I kidding? She's probably used to all that. And with the last of her willpower, she charges in to finish the job. Only to get one shot, literally, backed into a corner with no sword and a broken body. She swings and swings and swings. There's a word used in the show to describe people like Mizu. Unreal. Vengeful spirits that wander the land of the living. According to Japanese legend, when a person meets their end with hate and anger brewing in their hearts, their soul stays behind to hunt down the people who wronged them in life. Unreal are like Terminators. They're unthinking, unfeeling demons, and they'll never stop until they get what they want. They look like this, or this, or this, In a way, Mizu's purpose, her revenge, looks a lot like an Onryo's wrath. Here, the show hints to us that excessive single-mindedness and relentless obsession are traits befitting of a demon. And demons don't tend to get very far. So at death's door, pushed to her absolute limit, Mizu finally realizes, fuck, this guy's hacking! It was For the first time ever, she retreats. She learns that willpower alone isn't enough to get her what she wants. Instead of powering up and pushing forward, she had to take a step back. That's super cool, and here's why. Wholeness is this ancient concept in philosophy. Essentially, it's the idea that to become the best version of yourself, you must be balanced in all ways. The ancient Greeks figured out that the best rulers were ones who were both powerful and passionate, yet rational and well-tempered at the same time. Aristotle had this idea of the golden mean, a middle ground between two extremes where goodness is believed to stem from. According to him, having too much or too little of a trait throws us out of balance, which causes problems. Modern anime has yeeted this concept out the window. There's no balance. It's all about giving in to your obsessions, your urges, is romanticized AF these days. But if everyone gave in to their urges all the time, we'd be like animals or demons. Which is why this scene is so important. This is the scene where Mizu becomes whole. A samurai sword is her life. So when Mizu reforged her broken blade with other metals to become stronger, she was also, in a way, tempering herself with the traits she needed to become balanced. Akemi had a moment like this as well, but it was way more subtle. It was when she finally reunited with her fiancé, but turned down a peaceful life with him so she could save her country. Okay, so we've talked a lot about becoming whole, but what does that actually mean in practice? Well, it means different things for different people. Alchemy needed to step up and face her responsibilities as a princess, while Mizu needed to step back from her mission to see the bigger picture. What do you need that's missing in your life? That's the question the show is asking us. How do we become balanced? I was chatting to one of my friends the other day about making more money, leveling up at work, normie stuff. And he dropped this insanely relevant statistic. Story goes, there was this guy who was plagued by health issues because he was grinding so hard. Every few years, the stress would pile up so high, he'd end up with uncontrollable anxiety and heart palpitations. Because of this, he had to regularly take extended sabbaticals off work to recover. What's weird was, after doing this a couple times, he started to notice that every time he came back from a break, he'd be making a ton more money. Was this because his employers missed him so much they doubled his pay? Probably not. It was because during the time away from his grind, he had nothing better to do but to think about the bigger picture and strategically craft his next career move. So when he eventually came back, he came back swinging. Living in the modern world with all this hustle and grind, it almost feels as if we're our own baby versions of Mizu, each with our own unrelenting quest. And like Mizu, it's super useful sometimes to take a step back from it all so you don't miss the forest for the trees.